Welcome to the stream, everyone. Belgian pre-race edition. And technically, because I did originally have this stream scheduled for 12 midday, but I've moved it forward 45 minutes. And then I'm actually 44 minutes early. Okay, I think you'll find. Roll intro. How are we doing, everyone? Hello, Ian, Best, Groby, Drew, Rick, Gerard, Techno, Ruben, Nolan, Rick, Amy, Dimmy, Alex, Dennis, Dan, Astronomical, Tyler, Theodore, Halita, Egon, George, Charmander, Sam, New Jeans, Mitchell, E, Thundershade, Captain Nut, Marius, Sugar Ray, Marcel, Infinite, Eve, Sam, Scenic, John, Pranav, Nolan, just me. Welcome, everyone. Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for tuning in and joining us today. How is Minton? You know what, Daniel? You know what? I think he's asleep down there. Are you asleep down here, Minton? Yes, you are. Come on then. Let's get some early Minton exposure, okay? The sleeping sausage. Get it in early doors. Early doors. How are you, Minton? Are you sleepy boy? Are you sleepy hound? Look at it. Where's the yawn? Oh, here's the yawn. The yawn's coming. There it is. Oh, you got stinky breath. I'm gonna have to brush your teeth, mate. You got smelly breath. Good boy, aren't you? You're so good. Look at me. Listen to these scratches. Yes. You have the scratches, don't you, mate? Hey. But the only thing you love more than the scratches, look how tired he is. It's literally like 20 past 11. Are you some sort of teenager? Right. Back to bed. Good boy. Good boy. There you go. Lovely jubbly. Right. Anyway. Back to the stream. Back to the Belgian Grand Prix pre-race Chinwag. Also, audio only. Is you won't get Minton though, so you won't get Minton. You could still hear me scratch him, but you can't see him. So But I know some of you just listen on YouTube anyway. I mean, I do that a lot with live streams or podcasts. I just kind of put it on my phone, leave it on the side, and do something else. Bottle of water, exactly, Alex, exactly that. Is the Vitality? Well, the Vitality sausage dog is darker than Minton, and I think it has a bit shorter legs. Minton is better than the Vitality dog for sure, mate. Multitasking, exactly. Right. Oh my god. Need to get in the zone. I've been up quite a bit, but as soon as I've gone live, I've started to feel a bit like lethargic. No, come on, wake up. Look alive, people. Look alive. Right, cool. Audio only. Don't forget Apple Podcast, Spotify, all that good stuff. Also, live show. Not far away now. It will be a week tomorrow. So next Friday, the Audas and Tommo live show. Live in London. If you're coming, looking forward to seeing you there. If you're not coming, have a look. See if you get a ticket. Right? Tickets are still available. I've pinned it in the live chat. It's also in the description of this live stream. Matt and Tom are coming. Katie's coming. Dan and Blake are coming. Lovely jubbly. 18 plus because there's a bar, alcohol, all that, right? It's a good evening. But there you go. Guests, me and Audas. Bosh. Lovely jubbly. Right, okay, cool. Belgian Grand Prix, round 13, the final race before the summer break. Usually this is the first one kind of after, isn't it? So, see, it's a little bit of a change into, like, Hungary's typically the last one before the summer break. But, yes, Belgium, Spa-Francorchamps. A very famous track that there's been a lot of question marks around its future. and obviously the tragic death of Delano Vanthof. So that was during the Austrian Grand Prix weekend, wasn't it? Has put highlights and eyeballs once again on the on this circuit, because unfortunately, when when there are these horrific incidents where drivers lose their lives, the frequency of it happening at Spa relative to other tracks is getting to a stage where it feels a bit unacceptable. Really, obviously, motorsport is inherently dangerous, and they've already made changes to Eau Rouge Radion. Yet the inherent dangers of blind crests with very fast cars going, full whack, and then cars crashing and potentially bouncing back onto the racing line. Obviously, in Delano's incident, they shouldn't have sent the race going in the first place because it was absolutely soaking. Yeah, so we will see. I think that ultimately you've got plenty of tracks. It's almost like at the Red Bull Ring, they have a chicane on the middle of that first kind of straight going up the hill, specifically for motorbikes, because of I think it was triggered by that incident where Valentino Rossi almost got, wow, that would have been horrible. Someone came off their bike, he was going through the turn 3 hairpin super slow, and this bike just shot past him. I think it's in between him and someone else as well. So, they've done something to temper. When you've got super high speeds, then a super slow corner. For bike racing, they have a different layout. Maybe I don't know if there's anything they could do to preserve it for certain racing, because also the argument is that Eau Rouge Radion is too dangerous for any form of motorsport. So, I mean, the bikes don't race there either. As far as I'm aware, the bikes don't race at Spa because the runoffs aren't enough. I think I was chatting to some lads in the queue to get out of the Hungarian Grand Prix, actually, because the queues are long, and they're big bike racing fans, and I'm sure they said that the bikes don't race around here. Yeah, Lando obviously had his big shunt in Belgium 21 qualifying. Again, obviously, high speed, super wet track. Again, maybe that session should have been called. I think it should have been called off before that was allowed to happen. But there you go. So, but obviously a lot of history there. It's meant to be. I mean, I'd love to go. I've never been to Spa. Never been to the Belgian Grand Prix. I'd love to camp. I feel like it's one of them where if you camp, you get the full experience. Don't worry, Michael. I'm always late. I have little to no interest in this weekend, to be honest. Well, I understand where that comes from, because it does feel very inevitable that Max Verstappen will win this race, especially given the performance he did last year, starting 14th on the grid. He qualified first by, I think, quite a big margin, but took the grid drop. He had some grid drop, whatever, I can't even remember the reason, and then got back to... Didn't he get to the podium positions within 12 laps? Or was it in the lead within 12 laps? I can't remember. But ultimately, Max Verstappen did what Max Verstappen does. Him in this Red Bull, phenomenal. Phenomenal combination, and it really did hammer the point home last year when he came through. Not only beat his teammate, but beat everyone easily, quickly, very quickly. And leading within 12 laps. Crazy. Third place in 8 laps. Whew, damn. And could we see that again? I mean, you know what would be interesting to see? Max isn't going to be starting 14th, though, is he? I mean, it's very unlikely that he'll be starting 14th. So, yeah, it will be interesting to see maybe what compared to last year and his relative gap to the field, what it will be this year, his relative gap to the field, how different it will be. Because a lot of it, if you think Aston Martin have just stayed still when everyone else has gained around them, yet Aston Martin were the closest earlier this year, but then Red Bull also improved their car, and that's F1. It's changing all the time. The cars are changing all the time, and opinions are changing all the time, as they should. But yeah, Carlos Sainz started pole, but then fell back to P3. Checo got P2. Bosh. Another very good day in the office this time last year for Red Bull Racing. Right, let's reflect on the drivers' standings as they stand right now. Just thinking like opportunity-wise, you feel like the Williams are going to be in a good place this weekend. Good straight line speed. The Kemmel straight. There's two very, very long straight pieces of ribbon tarmac at Spa, which should stand in Williams' favour. Although, actually, Spa-Francorchamps weather. What's it saying weather-wise? Because I'm typing in Spa-Francorchamps weather, and it's just rain. A bit less rain on Sunday, but I'm just seeing a lot of rain, like the whole weekend. Which, I mean, I don't mind a bit of rain as long as it's not so much rain that we get what happened in 2021, of course. Especially because they haven't bought the wheel covers. I mean, have we seen the wheel covers? Actually, you know what? Let's get a picture of these wheel covers up. Oh no, not those wheel covers. What are they called? Like wheel arches. Where's it? Oh, there it is. The image. Right. Let's get this anti-spray arch up. So apparently, I was watching a video. I think it was from the race, and they said that. So hang on, let's just go back to main screen. And let's drag this over. And then, as you can see, so this is, if I go over here. So apparently this was like the first version. Apparently this is not what we're going to get. Because, I mean, you look at that massive underfloor diffuser gap. That's going to, that's as responsible, if not more, for the spray than the tyres themselves. I mean, this looks horrific, doesn't it? I think this was like a first revision. Needs more work. More work, we'll see. But I do believe this was a first version, and it actually didn't end up stopping a lot of the spray. So, yeah, we'll see. I mean, those covers at the bottom, they're like Boudicca's. They're tyre burst. I mean, everyone's going to get punches because everyone's just going to be tripping over these things. So much for open wheel racing. Look, ultimately, it's a point. It's a point what you make there, Aaron, right? Because with open wheel racing, yes, you will inherently have to deal with more spray. So are we prepared to have some kind of solution that can make these cars temporarily closed wheel? However, then that affects brake temperature, that affects so much of these cars' design. Given how often, it's a tricky one. I think covering the wheels is probably not the answer, not fully anyway. So then it's like, how do you actually find a solution that kind of ticks all the boxes, you know? Exactly, a significant amount comes from the diffuser. So, yeah. Anyway, back to the drawing board, FIA, I think, on that one. Which they are, as far as I understand, anyway. I believe they are back to the drawing board with that. Right, so, anyway. Who else? I mean, Alpine have got to have a good weekend at some point. They always seem to have, like, they'll have a couple of stinkers and then they'll have a really strong weekend. So, yeah, I think that Alpine are overdue a good weekend. I mean, McLaren are looking quick. Aston Martin straight line speed isn't their strength. Neither is Mercedes. I mean, I think it's looking pretty good for McLaren, maybe. Other than that, I've not got too many. I mean, Alfa Romeo will probably be Alfa Romeo again. Wouldn't be surprised, but my fingers are crossed for Williams. My fingers are crossed for Alex and Logan for sure. Constructors-wise, McLaren will probably close that gap up to Ferrari a bit more. I could definitely see McLaren catching Aston Martin. It really, the thing is though, it's not static, is it? So the relative gap between all the cars now is not what it will be in, 2 races, 5 races, 10 races. So, Aston Martin need to bring upgrades if they want to consolidate P3 for sure. A bit more prize money, a bit more clout. But then if they fall back, they get a bit more ATR time. But then they've got a lot of ATR time at the start of this year, which won't be realised yet. I do expect, Aston Martin had 100% ATR for the first half of this year. So if they can't, bank that and make that count in either next year's car or with upgrades later this year, then they've missed an opportunity, right? They've missed an opportunity there. But Alex podium, Albon tops. I mean, look, if they could do it any track, I mean, you've got, not being funny, you've got Spa this weekend, and then you've got Monza race after next as well. So Williams, it's looking good for P7, because if they can really bank in those races, and because I'd expect around, especially Monza, I reckon the Williams is quicker than the Aston. Vegas has got some long straights as well. True. Cameron, thank you for the $2.99. Tom, can you count down for me? What do you? I don't know what you're talking about, Cameron. You've confused me there, mate. I'm not gonna lie. But thank you for the donation. I appreciate that. Right, predictions. Then come on then. Put the predictions call out last night, and I want your predictions. I've already asked for your predictions. Cameron, I asked for your predictions, and we're going to look at them. We are going to have a look at them. Starting, though, with mine, most importantly, Bosch. Max Verstappen will win this race. Banger drive, Logan Sargent, because he's in a Williams as well. It's going to come good for, I reckon, points for Logan this weekend. That's my big call. Klanger, Sainz, Ferrari more than anything. Banger team Williams, Klanger team Ferrari. Sorry, Helio. We'll see. We will see. He was on pole this time last year, kind of, because Max got the drops. I see another sketchy weekend for Carlos Sainz. And yeah, you're right. We do have the sprint as well. We do have the sprint this weekend. So things are a little bit different. Qualifying tomorrow. Sprint on the Saturday, race on the Sunday. So again, looking at the weather report, tomorrow, Friday, precipitation 80%. It's just rain all day. Saturday, rain all day. Sunday, not so much rain, but again, that's more into the future, so that therefore it's less accurate. It's less of an accurate reflection. And again, because it's raining constantly, it's going to be pretty waterlogged. So I hope the drainage at Spa is working hard. Not hardly working. Joe pole position. So yeah, is anyone going this weekend? Is anyone going this weekend to Spa? I mean, again, as much as I say this is one that I'd like to camp at, if it's raining the whole time, then camping in the wet is a pretty miserable experience. So, Gate Nose Relics, nice. Spa is Oscar's favourite track, by the way. Is it? Interesting. Red Bull Racing needs to break at least once this season, right? Yeah, I mean, look, the thing is, right, it's just the combination, and Red Bull have their operations so nailed down that you would rely on them to not break down and not make mistakes. And, other cars have issues, but it's a team sport, it's a team game. And Max is pulling his weight, but the team are pulling theirs as well. But yeah, I don't know what to expect for Ricciardo, because I just think that AlphaTauri is just pretty. I mean, the Red Bull's quick in a straight line, and it's got the same power unit, but I'm not expecting too much from the AlphaTauris. But it's an important weekend for Yuki, because I think if Daniel beats Yuki here, then it leaves like the summer break where Daniel's like 2-0 Yuki. That wouldn't feel great for Tsunoda, He needs to get one over on Daniel this weekend to then make that battle interesting. Can't believe Oscar's going to get a podium before Hulk. It's coming. It's coming. He needs to capitalise before Mercedes then bring upgrades, but then Ferrari and Aston Martin and everyone else. Like McLaren, in this moment, McLaren have the second or third quickest car, up there with Mercedes for sure. So now they need to capitalise before inevitably other teams upgrade and then come closer to them, you know what I mean? So we'll see. So these are my predictions. So again, Verstappen win, Sargent banger, Sainz clanger, banger Williams, clanger Ferrari. Yours, 1,584 of you voted, 77% of you Verstappen race win. Well done. This is very, very unpredictable. 12% Norris, 3% Ocon. I like that. And 2% Perez. Ocon typically goes quite well around Spa, I think anyway. Albon got banger drive, 20% of the vote. Piastri just behind, also with 20%, but a few fewer votes. Norris 19, Ocon 11. So there's a lot of Ocon prop in the poll. I like to see it. Clanger, Stroll 18%, Magnussen 14, Gasly 14. Gasly's always getting shout out in Clanger, which I think's harsh. Perez 8%. Checo, please just have good quali. Just normal quali. Just top 5. Okay? It's coming down slowly. I mean, P9 wasn't exactly great. Just top 5. Just top 5 in quali. Okay, I'll take that. Please. Banger team. McLaren, big expectation, 42%, 24% Red Bull, 19% Williams. I'm surprised that wasn't higher. 6% Mercedes. Top 5, Jesus, the standards are on the floor. Well, yeah, they are, boss man, because I'm calling you boss man because that's your actual name, by the way. Because he has set very low standards in qualifying in the last go. So I'm just looking for a step. That's all I'm asking. Just top 5, please, Checo. I can't deal with another Checo stinker in quali, man. It's just too sad. Clanger team, Haas 33, Aston 20, 14 Ferrari, 10 Alfa Romeo. All for Romeo. Mercedes is no threat. I don't expect, the teams I expect to excel here. Obviously, Red Bull excels everywhere. Ferrari's pretty good in a straight line. Mercedes not so much. Aston Martin not so much. But Ferrari will find some way to it up. And then Williams, quick in a straight line. Haas, Alfa Romeo, AlphaTauri don't strike to me as particularly good I think Alpines are pretty good in a straight line. So, I don't know. L-Plan's on the back burner for now. I think L-Plan's on L-Plan's on sabbatical, L-Plan is on sabbatical. That's pretty good on straights, is it? Yeah, I suppose. It's Ferrari engine, I don't know. I do have a stream deck. I still haven't set it up yet. I need to do that because that would actually be really good for these streams, having all that different sound effects. But I've got to go XLR that allows me to go. Oh, for sake! See, not pre-recorded. Exactly, Gradient. Not pre-recorded. That would be insane if I predicted your comment, wouldn't it? Cool. Okay, so that's everything gone through. 25 minutes. Not going to linger too much, but live chat. What we got? What's been going on? What is there to talk about that's not been covered? The sensor's tripping me out. See, it's in your head. Censoring a live video always gets. Well, because I'm a very, I don't swear on my main channel because I don't need to, I don't need to swear. I'm a bit of a potty mouth over on Twitch sometimes, but there you go. Ah, yes, F1 Academy. So, yeah, the F1 Academy will have all 10 teams represented from next season, which is interesting. So, I mean, I don't know why it didn't start like that. Seemed a bit weird. It almost feels like they started F1 Academy before it was ready because we can't really watch it. It's only highlights. The F1 teams weren't involved this season. I don't know. It seems like they kind of had the idea and kind of, I feel like they should have waited another year, because I think then people would take the product a bit more seriously. But I'm interested to see what it will look like for sure. I mean, look, I love racing at all different levels, right? I don't really, obviously F1. I probably enjoy the F2 a bit more because I know a bit more about the drivers. But in terms of actually watching the racing, I enjoy the F3 just as much as the F2, and you know, any kind of open wheel series that, I enjoy the IndyCar just as much as well. So yeah, I'm interested to see that. Interested for sure. Started because of W Series bankruptcy and stuff, that to speed it up. Well, maybe that was part of why they seem to kind of jump the gun on it a bit. But I think again, if you're going to do that kind of series, which I support it, I endorse it. I think there's valid criticism of having a female-only series because, and I'm talking from female drivers who've spoken on it openly about W Series and that. I understand both sides of the coin, but ultimately I do think it does more good than harm overall. That's my opinion. So, yeah, I think again, the coverage is so important. It's important, of course, giving opportunities to these young girls and giving them a shot at racing on the kind of F1 calendar, leading up to that, hopefully, right? But the bigger gain is broadcasting it on the telly so that people watching and sitting at home and watching it are seeing it. It's the visibility that's the big thing as far as I'm concerned. So, yeah. F4 type cars would have to be big. But again, the F3 cars are quite significantly slower than the F2, but the wheel-to-wheel racing is great. Like, wheel-to-wheel racing, regardless, is exciting. So, could Piastri get a win before Norris? I mean, he could. I think, obviously there's been opportunities for Lando where, 2 P2s, it takes a technical issue for Max and Lando's getting that win. Lando's doing all he can. Right now, I think he's more than proven himself, hasn't he? Come on, any more Lando's overrated nonsense? I don't want to hear it. Come on, stop playing yourself, as DJ Khaled would say. Anything else? Because again, Piastri's proven that he's given his rookiness as well, given he's had 11 races in Formula One. I know he's obviously did a lot of testing for Alpine and that, but come on, he's been very impressive. I think McLaren will probably feel somewhat vindicated, that they paid off Ricciardo and this was actually the right decision for them overall. Probably the right decision for Daniel as well. I think ultimately it didn't work at McLaren. They wanted it to work. Daniel wanted it to work, and it didn't work. And this situation where Daniel's kind of got his way back in, I think it's kind of worked out for everyone in the long term. Obviously, Ricciardo wanted McLaren to be the seat, didn't he, to get him to wins? But so that part didn't work out. But given that failed, I think from then on, I think it's kind of worked out for everyone, really, apart from Alpine, I suppose. But that was their own fault. Alex, thank you for the 199. De Vries sets the Red Bull garage on fire. I don't think he'd do that, Alex, to be honest, but Mercedes have said they would take De Vries back as their simulator development driver, wouldn't they? So yeah, that. I mean, fair enough. Look, Nick's going to have a career in motorsport regardless. He's Formula 2 and Formula E champion, so he probably won't get back into F1. I can't imagine another team taking a punt on Nick De Vries, but I mean, Alex Palou's a way more exciting option, for example, and he does have the super license points. I really think that kid should be in Formula 1. I do. Anything? I'm just going through the chat. Is there anything particular? Yeah, we're doing the last lap. Don't you worry. Viper, we are doing last lap on Sunday. I will be there. Ocon's special helmet looks amazing. It does, actually. Let me find some pictures to. It's very cool. I don't actually remember seeing what the story behind it is. It's based off it's because sponsored by a watch company. So it's like it would just be easier for me to download an image and then pop it on the screen. Bosh. There you go. There's Ocon's helmet for this weekend. A Bell and Ross tribute. Who make watches. Oh, that's really smart. Very cool. Bit of me, that. Little bit of me. Well done, Esteban. I mean, I don't know how much involvement he had in the design, of course, but I like it. I enjoy it. It's a nice watch. Pillow will not leave IndyCar for a mediocre F1 team. Yeah, I mean, that's a fair point. Alonso tyre complaints. Yeah, so Alonso's been suggesting that they've been hit by these tyres changing, although the team seem to have kind of gone it like Aston Martin kind of don't seem to agree with that themselves. They've been suggesting more that it's just, their relative gap to Red Bull's the same and everyone else is caught up, which I'm probably more inclined to agree with. I don't know. I don't know. Ultimately, Fernando knows a lot more than I do, and the team knows a lot more than I do. But also, whenever the team's going to be talking about like a rule change that's affected performance, you always have to take what the teams and the drivers are saying with a pinch of salt, because they're incentivized to say things that will potentially help their cause. That's all, Do you not like the cat, Bennett? I like this cat. My Woodwood cat. It's nice. Well, basically, yeah, Fernando's suggesting that it's the change of the tyre construction that came in for Silverstone has hurt some teams more than others, which it probably has. I mean, it's tight margins in F1 and changing anything about the tyre as well, which is the entire contact patch. Everything goes, ultimately, it's how much performance can you put through the tyre. It probably has to an extent, but to what extent? I don't know. Do I think Andretti will join F1? I hope so, but whether they'll get it over the line or not, I do not know, because the teams seem to have too much power. Listen to the fans, teams. If you really care, stop thinking about yourselves, think about the fans, because without the fans, who almost all want at least one more team, then come on. I think with Aston, like, again, they started the season really strong, but it's almost that I guess maybe there was a degree of inevitability for them to take such a big jump up. It was going to take time for them to bring up an upgrade that can bring similar levels of increased performance, and it's allowed everyone else to kind of catch up to them. So, good old days with 23 cars on the grid. Yeah, I think I think ideally we get a couple of more teams, don't it? But right, I think we're good. We've gone for 34 minutes. We've covered everything. There's not too much to talk about for this weekend, because we do have a sprint race, we do have qualifying, we do have the full race as well. It's going to be wet. It's Spa, and Max is probably going to win by another big margin. But we'll see. We will see. Vesti to replace K-Mag. I mean, Vesti's doing a good job. I think Vesti's kind of, it's looking like it's going to be his title in F2. His consistency's been mad. Oh, yeah, actually, it is one, yeah. What's Max's one pole to finish off? Max's winning margin this Sunday will be less than 20 seconds. Will it be 20 to 30 seconds? Will it be 30 to 40 seconds? Or will it be 40 or more? There you go. What are we saying? Get on the poll. What are we saying? Max Verstappen's winning margin this weekend will be what? What will it be? Oh yeah, I forgot their special kick livery, didn't they? They put green flames on the front wing. Ugh. Beautiful livery, ruined. And they've got bloody XQC on it as well. My goodness, what's happened to this sport? XQC on a bloody Alfa Romeo. Come on now. There's no he won't win option, by the way. All right, 34% of you said 20 to 30 seconds. 24% of you saying 30 to 40. I just feel like it's up to McLaren to keep that, which is mad, isn't it? Imagine saying at the start of this year that by round 13, or the 12th race, that it would be up to McLaren to stop Max winning by more than like 40 seconds. To be fair, the Mercedes is actually, here's another poll as well. I'm not doing the stream yet. I wanted to ask your opinion on this. Who has the quicker overall car package right now? McLaren or Mercedes? Because there's been a little bit of, bit of sauce knocking about in there between like people. Well, no. Lewis saying McLaren's quicker. Lando saying no. Well, Mercedes is quick, and you've never been round at the back. Blah blah blah. See, I would. So part of the reason Mercedes didn't do as maybe well as they should have, particularly with Lewis, obviously, because George had his incident in qualifying, but still, George still came back from 18th to 6th, which in a Mercedes, given there's not that massive car, there's not a significant car advantage over the rest like there is with the Red Bull, an advantage nonetheless, but I think the Mercedes is a quick car, and they just got a bit wrong with their cooling, because it was exceptionally hot in Hungary. I can attest for that. So I think that I'm not so sure it is McLaren right now. I don't know. I feel like in Hungary, if Mercedes hadn't had to. I mean, look, obviously that is their car, right? And it did overheat. And Mercedes have had issues with overheating for a while now, right? But I think if they'd made a couple of different decisions in terms of the heating, in terms of the cooling louvres, then they wouldn't have had to manage the tyres so much. Also, if Lewis hadn't kind of bottled the start a bit, didn't he? If he'd have at least held on to like P2, then maybe it's a kind of different race. But you know what, Chris, you say I didn't watch the Mercedes race recap yesterday, but I did. I need to watch that actually, because I usually try and catch them. But I know the race we're talking about that in terms of the cooling. Gary Anderson was talking about the cooling issues. But yeah, we'll see. I think it's very close. I think it's pretty marginal, to be honest. I think it's pretty marginal between the two. If I had to pick one, I'd probably say Mercedes. I think if I had to pick one, I think in race conditions, I think the Mercedes has just got the edge. But there you go. Right, cool. Okay, I'm going to finish the stream now. Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for taking the time. Don't forget to like the stream. And I've got some tooth floss here, which is called Pro Formula. You can't see that. You see that? No. It's just like a big, glowing white. Oh, you see it better like that. Pro. Type Pro Formula in the comments if you're watching after the fact on YouTube. Then I'll know you've watched till the end. It's like I was holding the sun to the screen. Enjoy qualifying tomorrow, the sprint, and the race on Sunday. I should also, hopefully, have a video coming out later today. My video from Hungary. Hopefully, I should be able to have it out. It is finished. I just need to get things approved. But yeah, later today, Tommo F1. No, just Tommo channel. Not F1 anymore. I'm just Tommo. That's all I am. Thanks again. I'll grab Minton. Go on. Some of you have asked for him. He's literally right next to me sleeping. Hello, boy. Hello, sleepy boy. Oh, and also, I might be on Twitch later as well. Oh, it's Minton. Hey, boy. Like them scratches, didn't you? Alright, let's get the ASMR scratching Minton. Good boy. He's so beautiful, isn't he? Look at him. He's so beautiful. I love him so much. Right. Back to sleep, buddy. Go on. He's in his bed, but also under Hannah's dressing gown. So there you go. Thanks again, everyone. Stay safe, be well, be happy, and video later today, and post-race live stream will be on Monday. Bye. Bye. Buy live show tickets as well. Link in top of the live chat and description. Bye.